End of July 2023, rough cut photo trails, and they are rough cuts. First, the standard intro. 22 Armitage Court with warning signs about our cat Tody and other cats guarding the premises. Robin's Corner, where GPS was tested at this spot in the late 1980s. Oh, somebody seems to have disturbed the bit of garden sculpture that June got Robin for his birthday present last year. And down the front drive, yes, some people have seen this, but this is for people who haven't. One of the projects which is made a start is a bicycle, making some progress, helped particularly by others. And the cat forts, yes, that was a project which is pretty well completed. Warning signs about the cats, armed mice, and the light which tells us that Tody is inside. You can just about see his paw. Hello Tody. Sleeping on duty, I guess. Yes, come to the front porch and Snoopy's robot boat, and after months of not doing anything, I've just made a start on replacement of the computer, and that's just for test. Yes, and that boat survived 6 weeks at sea last year on its transatlantic attempt, and that's the camper that was used to transport the boat down to the seaside for launch. Battle damage. June said Robin did it, Robin said the wall did it, but the wall is okay. And now the important bit, which is health and safety. Warning signs about cameras and things have been here for years. Obviously the cameras aren't particularly hidden, and it's important that you read the small print about water squirters. That's the health and safety done. Into the house. Quick glance to see what a mess the house is in. And this is where Samantha is normally working from home here. And at the moment they're in the kitchen, probably having the lunch break. And I'm hoping that we'll get our heads above water with the help of the right handyman with lots of common sense, because a lot of this stuff here, some of it is left over from when Michelle was with us a few days ago doing odd jobs, but most of it is from myself, and just haven't had a chance to clear it up and put things in the right place. Other photo trails show work that's been done in the garden. We won't spend time on that, you'll be glad to know. And so the advantage of these photo trails to me is that they're openly shared with anybody who's got an interest, and very few people are interested, but sometimes it helps. A picture says 1,000 words, certainly does when I'm speaking. So what we have here is the YouTube channel with simply the videos, of which this will be the latest one going up here, and they're displayed here in time order. And of course YouTube videos can have a time bar so you can skip content. Over here, just switch a light on. After months of not being able to do anything, I've made a start on making several replacements of the little autopilot computer. I think that's it. I'll give a glimpse of the study. Again, this hasn't changed much. Diary, keeping a note of things. Complete mess, of course. And it would be nice to get the house back to what it was many years ago. the early 80s. Right, so that's enough talking from me, you'll be glad to know. We're going to go into these photo trails now, and what I'll do is at the ends put some video that was done a good few weeks ago, but about very important subjects, like the prophetic words of James Lovelock about global warming. In a nutshell, you can delay it by a few decades, but it's going to happen, and quite frankly we haven't seen anything yet. And also the problems with the DVLA and why I can't drive. But that's enough talking from me. So into those photo trails covering the end of July 2023. Monday the 24th of July 2023. Just a few photos, starting with work that Michelle was doing on their plumbing to make changes to it to improve it, aided and abetted by June. Looks like I'm listening to the news there. Oh yeah, it was the video from the previous video was put up, and then I walked down to the village and looks like snack at the Raj Vuj, and then back into the Comrades Club and back home to see Tody and the women watching the TV, and me having a look at the hedgehog coming for the peanuts, and then watching Have I Got News For You. Then Tuesday the 25th of July was the funeral of John Goss, who also used to work at Frantis, and there's some lovely glimpses of him on an old video on the Franti page. That was a reunion we held in 2000, and that was a journey. Oh yes, I dropped the Red Bull getting out of the car. You see I'm dressed ready to go, and June's driving. There's the spot tracker recording their progress to the East Hampstead crematorium, and yes, lovely handout, lovely guy. Always these places or occasions are sad, but also can be joyous, a celebration of the guy. That was certainly the case for John. So back home now, Tody relaxing, checking out the spot tracker. Everywhere I go I'm checking out the trackers. Some of them are new, some are not so new. Looks like I've got changed now. Having a bit of a doze. Wake up. Oh yes. There's Michelle saying hello to Tody. Looks they're off again. So where are they off to? Well, the tracker shows they've gone to Virginia Water Lake, and there's where the car's parked. Of course there's more than one type of tracker. Quick call to June to confirm, and yes, they're having a walk around Virginia Water Lake, so that's all okay. And that's the other type of tracker. There's some conversations going there. Yes, those two topics come up at the end. DVLA and global warming. So I'm probably still checking out trackers there. Sometimes positions may not be that accurate. Now that shows June at tennis by the look of it. Back outside now. And yes, the light says that Tody's in his cat fort. Look like a walk down to the village again, over the railway bridge, past the Jade, or the Jade Fountain as it was called. Oh yes, posters being going up for a film, Grease, which will be shown. And looks like I've gone for a short break at the Raj Fuge. Ah, no, that was the Sorrentina. I got that wrong. And back home. And I think that's the end of that photo trail. On to the next one. Wednesday, the 26th of July 2023. Starting off with Tody, Pussycat, star of most of these photo trails. So there's Bentley, the cat from opposite, coming over for his breakfast, watched by Tody in the kitchen, and Robin getting his 2 Weetabix. Cats relax in the kitchen. I go into the lounge. There's Tody in his cat fort. Looks like I decided to go down to relax outside the bakery. June playing tennis, and the trackers showed where the car was, and then the other type of tracker was also working, I think. And there's my GoTop SOS tracker, the black one. These trackers are public. That one's giving trouble by the look of it, but I was able to sort it. There's the work that Michelle has been doing, encouraged by June, and there was a leak. Right, some dialogue there. That's Michelle's cat Lady, and there's Lady again in the garden. And what do we got here? Tody in his cat fort. The tracker, one of the trackers, that one, it still had the position from when we took it over to Sicily. So that needed, that's the pub lunch. Yes, enjoyable pub lunch that was. Had my favourite. Then back to Richard and Faye's place for coffee. Yes, work on the trackers in the background. And that's GoTop 2, I'll call that one. That seems as though it's working now. And that one is playing up, but of course I was getting the help from Alan in Shenzhen. It looks as though we went to Longacres. And when we got back, I checked out the tracker, and that worked just fine, showing, there we go, driving around the car park, where the car was parked and where it moved. But one of the trackers was playing up. There's the spot tracker that's going into the boat. That was working fine. And that's the tracker which I apparently had to send it the correct setup. That's where Alan in Shenzhen was so helpful. So we got that working. And then I'm relaxing, looking at the closed circuit TV, the fox coming for the peanuts, and the robin appearing, and the white SOS tracker, which is the second one I've got working, with Alan's help. And that's working fine. So I think that's the end of that photo trail. Thursday the 27th of July 2023, and I actually managed to do a little bit of work related to the robot boat that's been sat there for ages. Basically related to building extra copies of the autopilot computer, aided by buying the right bits so that it plugged together easier. All that stuff is documented on the design page as a printout of the things. I also thought I'd try with some other things. So there's the cat fort with a light on to say that Tody's there, and now 2 SOS trackers are being checked out. That one was left out on Robin's corner. See if we can get some decent position data. Yes, Tody didn't help very much when I put it in with him. And yeah, a lot of scatter. I wasn't sure for the reason for that. Into the Comrades Club, relax in the Comrades Club with a glass of wine, and use it as the means of checking out the trackers. Back to see Tody, yep, still taking it easy. So back inside, June watching the television. Check out what data was from the trackers. Lots of scatter around there, but it did actually show the visit to Comrades Club okay. That one was giving trouble, and looks like Michelle and June are watching stuff. I'm looking at the closed circuit TV again with Tody with me, the fox coming for the peanuts, and the hedgehog. That could be the end of that photo trail. Friday the 28th of July 2023, and this is about 7 minutes of photo trail, I think. And yes, the trackers, as always, take a bit of a part, and this in fact was the day that Michelle went back to Coventry. You know, I started off by checking out the new white SOS tracker, and yes, there's Tody guarding the premises. You don't want to mess with Tody, he's quite a fierce cat when he needs to be. Just look at those teeth, cat. And in fact she stayed with us, and so that is tracking the journey to, yeah, and I spoke with Terry to say that yeah, he could do the same, gave him the link, and yeah, showed the journey. That was to the car park for shopping, I think. And yeah, the tracker links are public on the contact page, and that was working well. And so then when June left the car park, I was able to leave it on that page and see her progress back home, including get up onto the London Road, coming past the Royal Foresters, yeah, touch base Terry I think it was on the phone, and yeah, to the Heatherwood Hospital roundabout, past the race course, and getting quite close to home now, coming through South Ascot and up to the, yeah, coming up to the Burstead roundabout. And so look on the closed circuit TV, and yes, they've just arrived, so I can go out to meet them. I say them, it's just June and the shopping. So of course Robin gives a hand with the shopping, and looking on the closed circuit TV, there's the evidence of all that hard work, moving the stuff from the car into the kitchen. And the courier came then, and yes, there was some more electronics for Robin's little hobby project, and yes, transistor used for power control. I think that was from 5 volts down to 3.5 or something like that. And so what else? Yes, it's the work that's been in abeyance for months really, which is rebuilding the computer to go into the robot boat. And while they're about it, may as well make more than one, so you've got some spares. Oh yes. Yeah, some amusing spam from Jack. Not the first time I'd received it, but it looks as though he didn't process my reply, which said yes, just, I won't bother to say more to embarrass him. Nobody look at this anyhow. And with all these things one can learn from different people. May not be the obvious things. That looks like another courier for me. Another bit of stuff that's going into the autopilot computer, just simply resistors this time. And some other little small GPS receiver modules to check out, and then 2 types of GoTop SOS tracker there, the black one and the white one. And the white one, and we've only recently started to get going. Anybody who's interested can go to the contact page and look at the position from it. And not only look at the position, you can leave it on that page and follow. So it looks like I'm going in the garden. Yes, there's Lady, Michelle's pussycat, and she obviously likes the cat fort, complete with the armed mice with transport, and that's in memory to our old pussycat Gingy. And there's Tody relaxing in his cat fort at the front. Oh yes, they had my business location wrong, and so I was able to go through the process of saying no, this is what it should be, and they simply didn't have the house number in it. Not surprised. Looks as though we're taking Michelle back to catch the train at Ascot rail station. Train comes in on time, Michelle goes off, and so she's off to Coventry, and she let us know later that she got back safely. June had to park on the double yellow line there, and making her way back home, and there is Tody guarding the premises. Back inside, yes, the robot boat, and check out what the trackers said, and yes, showed correctly, that's the black Go Top SOS tracker. I call them all pocket pals because that sort of product has been around for a few years, and that's the white one, and they're both on the contact page for anybody who's interested, and that shows me actually walking across the platforms, so that was working well. Looks like June's rustling up dinner now. I go out to check out, yes, ladies relaxing in the garden. Hello lady. And the spot tracker, it's a good way of comparing. Is that looks wrong. Yes, because it stopped reporting because the batteries have run flat, so got to change the batteries. So as soon as I changed the batteries, that was okay again. It looks like the food ready, so I'll take that into the lounge. Yes, check that the spot tracker's working okay. June watches the telly, I watch the Fox Cub, that is, come in for the peanuts, and that tracker's working fine. Hello lady. Down to the Comrades Club, like I've decided to go for a glass of wine and a chat. And then back home, and yes, Tody decides to join me and lean on the keyboard and help. So that's the end of that photo trail. Saturday the 29th of July 2023. Not many photos in the photo trail for that day. Just Robin doing a bit of work on the computers for the autopilot, which I hadn't started for several months. May as well make more than one while we're about it. Then down to the Comrades Club for a glass of wine and relaxation before coming back. Yeah, moon coming up, and yeah, that's about it for that day. Then Sunday the 30th of July 2023, my sister Sally's birthday. There's the family picture that's been on the family page for a little while. Oh yes, one of my chance meetings at that lovely place we went to, which we'd never been to before. Wheels of History, I think it was called. And yeah, that picture there was, oh yes, that was the birthday cards. I've got several cards, but never had time to actually send any one of them off to Sally. Yeah, quite like that one. History on Wheels Museum. Yes, not that far north of us, at Eton Wick, a little spot near the Jubilee River that we hadn't visited before. Of course, it was in the pouring rain, so through Sunninghill village into Eton near the college, and then on the road to Eton Wick, and turned off right by the church, follow the road, and then we got to it, History of Wheels, or History on Wheels, and it was absolutely full of, well, mostly military memorabilia is the wrong word for it. A lot of it is sort of vintage vehicles, but not just vehicles, uniforms and very well crafted dummies as well. And of course well-known actors from various things like Dad's Army and many other things. Hello, hello. Hello, Mr. Mannering. Just too much to grab, even going around taking photos. And I know my friend Richard would love to visit this place, even though he thinks he's seen it. Doodlebug, that was. Seen it on the net. But the net isn't the same as going to a place for real, and also meeting real people. Yes, they had a shop as well. There, look at that old radio gear. Bicycles. Yeah, Diana, lots of memorabilia in terms of mugs, some of which we've got. Yes, I'd rather like that guy. Looks like we're getting back into the car and leaving. One thing caught our eye was from props from a film, including real bullet holes. And we're out, going back via Dorney, over the cattle grid, after the common, past some well-known pubs, coming into Ascot and Sunninghill, past the Cords Hall, the Comrades Club, into Armitage Court and home, and Tody's fort, with Tody in it. Yeah, Snoopy's robot boat. I did manage to get a little bit of work done on that. Now checking out the trackers, starting with the spot trace tracker that's destined to go into the boat, and that showed correctly us visiting and parking at various places, including Bray Lake on the way back as a brief visit. Then the Go Top Black SOS tracker, which I call Pocket Pals. They've been around for a few years from different suppliers. And then the white one, and those trackers are all on the contact page. So watching something or other on the telly. Oh yes, a bit of processing associated with these videos, the photo trails. Looks like the Antiques Roadshow there. And there's Lady Michelle's cat, staying with us for a few days. Looks like me having my pudding, and then for a walk down to the Comrades Club, going there for a glass of wine. And one thing caught my eye was that NATO slogan on the t-shirt. I thought, goodness me, what's that? So I walked back, and that was on my list of things to do, which was Google that up. Oh, there's Lady relaxing. Yes, Stone Island. Looks as though it's an Italian brand, fairly recent compared with the setting up of NATO in '49, although some would say it was born in Sunninghill before then. That's the end. I warned you they were long photo trails, so we're going to wrap up this video with the material that was shot a few weeks ago now. But I think I started, hello, about here. Now what I put on the screen, because global warming is rearing itself, it's something that's been on my grumpy page for years. The remarkable James Lovelock, who passed away on the 26th of July, his 103rd birthday. I'll read out what this says here. This has been on the Grumpy page for years, not long after the publication of his book, Revenge of Gaia. We can't stop global warming, but we may delay it by a few decades to give us time to prepare for its effects. Vast areas of the world, including as close as continental Europe, becoming arid desert. Shrinking of habitable areas of the planet to much smaller parts of the planet, closer to the poles. The Earth will then only be able to support a small fraction of its present population, and there will be a need for massive migration. Places like the UK will remain temperate a little longer, so be an attractive destination. We need all world governments to cooperate to prepare for this inevitability. Also to agree things like reduce use of fossil fuels to give us a few more decades to prepare. And then it goes on. The above is not a quote, but how I remember what James Lovelock said in his book, The Revenge of Gaia, etc. That's been unchanged on my site for years. And right, well, the other thing I should mention, yes, retired happy and spending that kid's inheritance, is for some time now I've not been able to drive due to, well, several mistakes at the DVLA. And what I will say is that I have new evidence of what happened inside the DVLA, which I won't publish yet because I'm still waiting for the reply to the letter which was delivered by recorded delivery to the head of the DVLA and also other people. So I'll put in at the end of this long video the video that's gone up, me talking about the DVLA, and basically in summary it says I don't want anybody to get into trouble, and that is definitely the case, and resigning is too easy. Problems need to be fixed. But quite honestly, that is a minor thing compared with all the other things that are going on in the world, not least wars, and of course what's in the background and very important is global warming. So let's run into that. Back in 2012.
We've seen the launch of a transatlantic sailing attempt this morning in a model boat. Retired NATO scientist Robin Lovelock launched his Snoop loop from Barton-on-Sea towards the Bahamas. It's already been tested over 5,000 miles on a lake in Berkshire. The model will be steered and tracked through a satellite system and by Snoopy, of course, and it should make the crossing in 6 months, if it survives, that is.
The most important thing of the lot, of course, is Snoopy the Viking, the skipper. I don't think he'd make it otherwise. We've also got another bit and piece here. This is a GPS logger that logs the position every 15 minutes. That was back in 2012. The guy that put this material together, including live broadcast and what went up on the BBC website, is Ben Moore.
I just worry for Snoopy. Sport now and Hampshire.
Right, on to the next topic. Right. Now, I'm going to do this all in one take. All unrehearsed and unscripted, so sorry about that. What I'd like to happen, if anybody picks up on the DVLA story, is, as I say, nobody getting into trouble, and that's a genuine request, but when they find flaws in procedures where they don't cover certain things, be good if those are fixed. What I think would be useful for anybody looking at the DVLA and perhaps helping them is, first of all, their organisation chart showing the structure. Yes, it's well known who the head of the DVLA, remarkable woman, looking at her CV, and relevant to this story is the head of the health part. But it would be very useful to see, even if names aren't attached, obviously the names can be attached where they're public already, is how many people in each branch, how many people are reporting to how many. So a simple tree would help. I suggest that first of all. Then, perhaps even more important, is how many people working for the DVLA, even if you don't identify the individuals, are salaried by the DVLA excuse me, directly, as opposed to contracted through an agency or a business. That is very important, and we've seen what's been happening in places like the NHS for years. So that comes into the equation in terms of whether money is well spent, and of course the DVLA collects a lot of money, and there are probably other things as well, but as a starting point, I'd hope anybody that responds to this, I can't afford to get overloaded, we've got other things to do, many other things to do, and we'll be taking a holiday, that'll be public, yes. I'm tracked everywhere by different things, and in fact, if anybody's paranoid about it, anybody who's tracking somebody or looking at somebody's probably seen already. But at the end of the day, there's me wittering on, which is one of my main weaknesses since I was a little child. That's why if you put things up, clearly be careful what you put up, and often it can do some good. I'm now in the kitchen, and June's rustling up some food in the microwave for Samantha. The microwave was invented by James Lovelock, if you didn't know. And here's Samantha, and of course there's tennis on the television, just for a change. So, oh yes, point out, holidays in we're going off to Sicily again soon, and into the hall. Yes, nice expensive paintings here. Yep, expensive little pocket camera, not expensive. And through into the lounge and out to wrap up this video by saying, look after yourselves, stay safe, and enjoy what days we have.